Hi, my name is Meg, and today we're looking at the real basics of using redstone in Minecraft. So I'm just going to open up this world of Minecraft. I have a few little things set up that I'd like to show you. So in Minecraft, redstone is essentially this basic version of making electric circuits, and redstone helps power and automate things and make them work. Now, we're just going to start with the basics, but you can get quite complicated and do some really amazing things with redstone. So just to start with, this is what redstone looks like in the wild, or if you're mining for redstone in survival mode, say, this is what it would look like in a cave. So when you mine redstone, it's a little bit different to the other ores. Actually, it probably won't happen because I'm in creative mode. In the sense that it drops a powder. So if you look up redstone on the menu to see all the items, this is the powder-like substance that you'll collect when you mine for redstone. So you don't really get an ore, you just get this powder. Now, redstone is imaginary. It's not really based off a real life ore like iron ore and diamond and all those other things. So something to keep in mind. But it powers a whole bunch of stuff in Minecraft, which is really cool. Now, if you use a crafting block and put a bunch of redstone powder together like so, you can also make a whole block of redstone. In creative mode, you can just access this through the menu without having to craft it. So either of these, there's 3 items which we can use made from redstone that can power objects. So we can use the blocks like so, we can use the powder, and when I right click to place a powder on the floor or on another block, you'll see it sort of starts to make a trail of redstone. So you can use either of those 2. The third one you can use to power things is called a redstone torch. So again, crafted with redstone powder and a stick, the redstone torch can also power things. What can you power? Well, for starters, it's daytime now, but when it becomes nighttime, you do want some lights to keep zombies and such away. And so if I put some redstone next to a light, so if I put my block of redstone there next to the light, it will turn on. I can also use my redstone torch. Now, if I put the redstone down by itself, you will need to connect it to like a switch or an input to be able to turn the light on and off. So with redstone, redstone allows you to control things from a distance, basically. So with, for example, a glowstone, if you put an input, such as a button or a lever next to it, you can control it directly. But let's say the glowstone's in the roof of your house and you want the switch on the wall, what you can do is use redstone powder to connect the glowstone to an input that is further away. So I can put my lever over here and turn my light on and off from over here. So for example, up here we've got just a redstone torch sitting next to the glowstone, or we could connect that with redstone powder to our lever down here. Now, one downside of using the redstone powder is that it runs along the horizontal surfaces of blocks well, but it cannot run vertically on the vertical side of the block. So if I wanted to get redstone powder up to this light, I essentially need to build a staircase for the redstone to go up. Now you'll notice I'm placing it on the top of this block and then it goes up the vertical face. So you always have to place on the top face of the block, and then the redstone will connect automatically to any nearby redstone pathway. So something to be aware of when placing redstone paths, you're aiming for the horizontal flat top of the block, not the vertical side. And it has issues unfortunately, because it seems more intuitive to just go up the side of blocks, but at this stage, as of early 2020, it doesn't allow for it, and it hasn't since Redstone's been in Minecraft for quite a while, and it just doesn't allow for that. So something to be aware of. But you can see now we're controlling both, if I don't destroy the lever, now we're controlling both of our glowstones with one lever. Something else that you can control with inputs is doors. So wooden doors can break, they can't be locked, and mobs such as zombies, if they attack them, can break wooden doors. So metal doors are automatically locked and need an input in order to be able to open them. So you can just place a lever right next to the door, or you can have it controlled by redstone as well. So another type of input you can have are these pressure plates. So if I step on it, it activates the redstone and opens the door. This can also be activated by animals and other mobs like zombies and such. So it's really good for if you have, say, a fence and a gate and you want the animals to be able to let themselves out, you can put some pressure plates on the side so that when they walk towards the gate, it opens. Or if you have a trapdoor in the floor, when you step on the pressure plate, the trapdoor opens to trap a zombie. The other common input used is a button, which looks like this. So let's go here. A button is a little different from, I'll show you on the glowstone. A button is a little different from a lever. So a lever is either on or off. When you activate a button, however, it goes on for a short amount of time and automatically turns off. So there are some options for you there. And the pressure plate, as long as there is something on the pressure plate, it is on. And as soon as I come off, there is a short delay and then it automatically turns off. So depending on what you're building and what you want to do, you would choose one of those things to suit your needs. So the next thing that I've built here, just to show you an example of some of the cool things you can build with redstone, is a secret base door. So what I've got here is you could blend it into the environment so that it doesn't look like a door. Maybe it's in the side of a mountain, and then when I flip the lever, it opens this gap in the mountain to let me into my secret base, all powered by redstone and an item called a sticky piston. Now, I just really want to quickly show you these pistons because they're really cool items to be able to help, that can do some cool things. So this is a regular piston, and you can change the direction it's facing depending on which way you're facing when you build it. But if I place a block in front of it and then activate the lever, and then activate it again, you can see the block stays where it was pushed. So these are good for clearing the way and pushing things out of the way to keep a space clear. However, a sticky piston is just a regular piston with some slime goo on one side. Now with the sticky piston, if I place a block in front, that block is now stuck to this piston. So when I turn it on, same thing, the block gets pushed, but when I turn it off, the block remains stuck to the sticky piston. So that's what I've used here. I've got 4 sticky pistons, and so when I turn, let's see if I can do it from here, from the back. When I turn the lever, no, hang on. Let's see if this, there we go. So when I switch the lever, sorry, the sticky pistons are retracting and then pushing forward. So they are great things to use. Some other good things that might be worth using are the dropper and the dispenser. So the dispenser has this sort of O face and the dropper has this like happy face on it. These items have their own inventory, so you can put things in their inventory. The dispenser dispenses items that can be used, like arrows, snowballs, fertilizer, things like that. So you could make booby traps, like in Indiana Jones, and have some arrows shooting out when you step on a pressure plate, or it could be a bit more friendly with just snowballs. So you will need to activate it. I don't know why it's not doing my snowballs. Let's try. Let's see what we get. Maybe. There we go. So I'm activating it with the lever and it's shooting snowballs. You could also activate it through a pressure plate or something else. The dropper, on the other hand, just drops an item in front of it. So at the moment I have blocks of redstone in there, and when I press the switch, it should just spit out the block, which I can then pick up. So I could see the dropper being really useful for if you have a lesson set up in survival mode, you could put some rare items or something in the dropper and have it activated or dropped when students complete a certain task or solve a certain puzzle. That way you're not having to sit there and wait for them to do it and then gifting them the item. So that's where droppers can be quite useful. The last thing I wanted to talk about that is used really, really commonly in Minecraft, especially in survival mode, are these tracks with the minecart. So in creative mode, you can double tap spacebar or jump in order to fly. So that's a really quick, easy way of getting around, but you can't fly in survival mode. So most people use minecarts and these rails. But if we just have some regular rails and I jump in the minecart, nothing really happens because nothing is pushing me to go anywhere. So you can use redstone to create powered rails, and at the moment the powered rails are off. So you do need some sort of input, whether you have a redstone torch next to it to turn it on, or whether you just have a lever next to it which you switch on and off. So for now, if I put my minecart on the powered rails, I'm going to jump in and I can actually activate the lever from within the minecart. It should shoot me forward like so. Now I've run out of track. So in survival mode, powered rails are often used to get around between people's bases, or if you're mining underground really far away from your base, and you can actually get mine carts that contain chests, so you can cart items around the world across large distances using mine carts and all sorts. There are, I've got some llamas in my base. There are so many cool, complicated contraptions people have made using redstone. It is in regular Minecraft as well as Education Edition, and it has been around for a while. So there are lots of amazing YouTube tutorials on things that you can build. There are also on one of the Wikipedia pages a guide to logic gates, which is when you have, let's say you have two levers connected to some redstone circuits, and you want things to turn on when one lever is on but not the other, things like that. There is a guide on how to build those logic gates in the Wikipedia page. So this is just the basics. Oh, one other item that you'll probably find very useful. Redstone powder does have a limit of 15 blocks before the power sort of peters out. If this happens to you, there is an item called the Redstone Repeater, which I can place in the middle here. Oops, wrong way. So it is direction dependent, which will boost the signal again for another 15 blocks between the lever and the glowstone. So Redstone Repeater boosts the signal and helps you extend that one line of redstone. It does depend on the direction. So you saw initially I put it in the wrong way around and it didn't work. So just try, if that happens to you, just try all the different ways to see which one works. I also often have to fiddle with placing the redstone dust in and around the items I'm trying to get to power until it hits the sweet spot. So if it doesn't work initially, just keep trying and see how you go. If you have any questions or comments, just put them in the comments below, but thanks for watching.